CAU.
If you're trying to grow your business and add diversity,
What you do?
hit up Client Attraction University. When it comes to getting clients, you face adversity. You need to hit up Client Attraction University. Client Attraction, Client Attraction, Client Attraction, Client Attraction University. Client Attraction University, $250 million in revenue for coaches, consultants, and service providers all across the globe. And that number is growing as you listen to this. Want more clients, profit, freedom, and impact? Go to paidadplaybook.com. If you're trying to grow your business and add diversity,
What you do?
hit up Client Attraction University. When it comes to getting clients, you face adversity. You need to hit up Client Attraction University. Paidadplaybook.com. That's PAID ad playbook.com.
Awesome. So, hey, it's your girl, Rochelle, President of Communications here at Client Attraction University. And it's my favorite day. Y'all know what that is. I get to talk to our rock star clients and talk to them about what they're doing, who they're impacting, all of the change that they're doing to the world, and makes what we do so worth it. Right? It makes what we do so amazingly worth it. So, Dr. RJ,
Yes.
welcome here, and please introduce yourself to the world.
Hey world, I'm Dr. RJ, Dr. Rashana Johnson-Burwain. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist, and I help Black women eliminate stress, anxiety, and burnout.
Oh boy. So we need that.
Yes.
Especially at this time now that we've got, I think COVID just kind of really brought it to light, but we had it way before that. But do you think that we just weren't acknowledging it then, or were we?
I think, Rochelle, what happened was we were forced to slow down. Like, obviously, some industries, like healthcare industry, didn't slow down, but most industries had to slow down. And so we then were like, wait a minute, we had to sit with ourselves. We had to sit with our thoughts. And then we realized, I am overwhelmed. Like, this is too much. And I think without COVID, we would have just kept going and going and going without slowing down to realize that we were burning, the candle at both ends.
Yeah. So how did that really manifest? Is it that it just kept happening? Is it that we were projecting? Like, how did we get so burnt out?
So without getting super, super deep, I do think it's in our DNA as Black women. We are wired to overdo it. And in the past, it was for survival, right? If we think about our history, we, as Black people, we come from all different places, but generally there's a history of having to overdo it to survive. So we're wired that way. And then we got into the whole being praised for being that way. And it just kind of exploded into, this is the only way to be. And now it's backfired on us.
Yeah. And it seems like, I always laugh when I was like, I don't know, I guess it was like in my early 20s, I would listen to Dr. Phil, right?
Yeah.
And I would hear him say, so how's that working for you? Or,
yeah.
It must be working for you, or you would stop, right? So is it the praise that we're looking for? That
so,
to get burned out?
So why do we keep doing it? It's the expectation. It's the identity. So the strong Black woman, that's who we're supposed to be. That's what we're praised for. That's what we're known as. And we haven't been given an out from that. And I think that's why we keep, doing these insane things of killing ourselves, because there's not an out. There's not a visible out on how do I get from this space to that space.
Sure. So now is it who is your ideal client, right? And who do you really work with? Is it, single mom that she's just got to make it happen? Or is it more the corporate woman that doesn't have any kids that's just doing the most? So
yeah. So my ideal client is the corporate woman or, entrepreneur, physician who's doing the most. They don't have to. They have the means to take a break. They have the means to relax. They're not working on basic survival skills, because that's a different category. That's a different story. So it's the woman who was at the top of her class in college, is the woman who still remembers the spelling bee word that she lost on in the 6th grade, right? She's like, I should have made that. It's the perfectionist, the overthinker, but the one who excels like at life. But then when they get home, they're sad, they're anxious, they're depressed, they feel lonely, and they feel like they're doing things for everybody else except for themselves.
Mm.
Yeah.
Woo! Okay. Right. It's so true. It just is part of it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that, I don't know why, because there are some of us that aren't that way, right? There are some Black women that aren't wired like that.
Right.
And then there's others that are. So, why do they keep adding to their plate? Is that whole thing that they just think that they're supposed to, or?
I think part of it is that's how they were raised. And I should say we, because it used to be me. We were raised that way. We're the smart kid in the family. We're the go-to person. We're the one who makes things okay for everybody else. And it's just automatic. We fall into that role. And then it's kind of like, yes, I'm doing these things for everybody else. Well, who's going to do something for me? And it's almost like an identity that's put on us. And there is some praise in it. And there is some pride in being able to keep the family together. But at what cost?
At what cost? Because I remember asking my father that one time. I was in my 20s and 30s, right? Going, what is going on? And he said, his reply was, every family has one. And for my family, it was Aunt Betty. And so he gave me somebody to identify with immediately. And that, you remember when you would need this and this, and they would say, call Aunt Betty and Uncle Roger. And they were just the family that we went to. And I think I just kind of adapted that and just took it all in. And that just became my identity. As you're saying it, I'm like, oh my goodness. So when they come into your program, like how do they know, like, what are some of the signs other than, you're at home and you feel depressed? Because, a lot of times I'll just have a burrito and then feel better. Yeah. So what are some of the signs, and what are some of those that say it's not just one day, it's not just an ice cream sundae you need today, you actually need to join a program or seek out some help?
That's a really good question. I think it comes down to health issues. So a lot of my clients have issues with high blood pressure, but no other health problems. And the high blood pressure is from stress. So there's anxiety. Problem sleeping is a huge one. So the insomnia or hypersomnia, and then the irritable bowel syndrome stuff. So you always have an upset stomach, or always have migraines, or it's just kind of on edge on the inside. On the outside, everything looks good. Nobody knows. And so that's how we know that it's time to get some help, when we're starting to approach the physical health part of things.
Sure. That makes sense. So when they come, like, I think, there's a lot of stigma about seeing a therapist, right?
Yeah.
And we're trying to really have breakthroughs now, and it's not what it used to be. We women of color have a tendency to just go to church more.
Yeah. We try to pray it away.
Yes. And I tried to tithe it away for a long time.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good one. Yes. Absolutely.
If I just spend more money, if I just give them more money, I'll have more blessings and I'll have more time, instead of really working on the inside of me.
Yeah. And true wellness comes with mind, body, and spirit. You're not going to have true wellness without all three. So I do the mind part. And of course, I can easily relate what we're going through to scripture. It's just kind of who I am, right? I can say, well, if you look at when Vashti had to adjust her crown and set boundaries, regardless of what the outcome is, right? That changed the world. We're still talking about her.
Yes, we are.
And so being able to put real life words, real life examples to our spiritual beliefs, even if it isn't Christianity, at least 98% of people believe in something.
Yes.
So if we're talking about a general higher power, there's no general higher power that doesn't want you to have peace. It's just, it doesn't exist. And so, yeah, I mean, peace is the underlying thing that all of us deserve, because if we're all like upset and anxious, it's hard for us to walk in our purpose and to be who we're supposed to be. Yeah.
So awesome. It's so just awesome to hear you describe it. I get to talk to our rock stars like you a lot. And one of the things that I am so amazed at is, number one, how bad y'all are. Like, you guys are just so awesome. I just love it. The second thing is how you've adapted our program to work in your business. So now, how does it work? So how does one come and work with you? Tell me how that works.
So the easiest way is to schedule a call, right? And then we decide together if it's going to be a good fit. I am very competitive, and I don't take on any clients who aren't going to excel and do well. I just don't. And so I know that during the conversation, is this going to work for you? Is this going to really get you where you want to be? Obviously, they have to put in work, but there are just things I know as a psychologist. Do you have what it takes to really move forward? And when I see that, I really, really go hard in saying, look, this is what it is. Like, what's going to happen if you don't do this? Because I see this in you. I've been on that side. I am now on the other side. And it's possible, it's doable. So it really is interviewing each other. But again, I don't take clients who I don't think will do well, because I like success stories.
Sure. Like us, right? Like we don't either. You know, I always tell everybody that Client Attraction University is like Harvard, right? Just because you have the money doesn't mean you get to get in.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like there is a hierarchy, and sometimes folks just aren't ready yet, right? Like they haven't kind of wrapped their head around systematizing their business.
Yes.
Even though there are lots of individuals, right? So they'll come to you with individual challenges, but truly it comes down to, one of three things, and then you lead them down that path. So that's awesome. So do they work with you one-on-one? How do they work with you?
So generally, I think the best way for coaching is in a group setting, because most of the women who come to me think they're all alone. They think it's only me. And once they see that other successful women are having almost the exact same issues, they feel supported, they feel validated, they feel empowered to move forward. It gets rid of the shame that comes behind it, that comes behind not being perfect and not being able to fix it yourself. So having a group setting really helps that. And I think it's so powerful to just kind of be around like-minded people who are having similar struggles and getting better.
Hey, what's up? Real quick, it's Marquel here. Just want to hop in and share something really cool with you. So I don't really sell advertising or anything on this podcast. However, I like to pop in here and there and share some helpful resources that may be beneficial for you and your business. So I actually want to let you know that we actually have our Wealthy Black Coach Rapid Business Growth Workshop coming up, and you can actually grab a ticket right now for 100% free. All you got to do is go to wealthyblackcoach.com. And when you join us for this event, I'm going to show you how to create a personal blueprint. I'm actually going to walk you through a personal blueprint to attract 5 clients every single week. So go ahead and go to wealthyblackcoach.com right now, get registered, and let's get back to the show.
We just automatically jump in, right? To fix it. The guilt of being the only one, the guilt of being I should, and all of these things, and allowing that to just be released. So that is so awesome. I love that it is in a group setting, because I think people get caught up in really believing that it's just them.
Absolutely.
It's not. And
it's
not.
Yeah.
It's not. So what is your favorite part of Client Attraction University?
So before I joined Client Attraction University, I was comfortable. I was good. I was kind of at the top of my game. And then I realized that comfort was my enemy, right? It was keeping me from really helping people who needed my help, like right now. That comfort, that safety net. And so what CAU helped me do was to go from being good to genius level. Like now I feel like, oh man, I would have never imagined reading the books that I read from Markwell's list, right? I now read 2 per month. I read because I do audiobooks. But
that counts.
Yeah,
that counts. That absolutely counts. And actually, to me, it counts better because my focus is there and it just gets in.
It gets in there. Right? Yeah, I agree. And so just having a routine, I feel grounded. I don't feel like crazy and all over the place. I feel grounded. I have a morning success routine. I'm walking and doing what I'm telling my clients to do. So I'm living it. They can see it. They can feel it. I wouldn't have any of that without CAU. Like I have a stellar program without CAU. So in my mind, I was thinking, oh, I need a coaching program. Well, in my mind, I had to do all of these things before I got there. And with CAU, it's just like, do it right now. Like, just do it. And I would have still been like behind my computer, creating spreadsheets and flyers a year later if it wasn't for and broke from the spreadsheets and flyers.
From spreadsheets and flyers, right?
Yeah.
And getting ready to get ready.
Yes, absolutely.
Get ready. Get ready. Yeah. So did you go to any programs before you came to CAU?
I didn't. It was just so for me, it was divine intervention. I started out, I asked about, it was something random about making some t-shirts for a conference or something. And somebody I know was like, you need to get in contact with Markwell. And they gave me the information. And then I love the videos and all of that. And I was like, oh, okay. And then I did the 3-day. And I was like blown away. I was all crying and just like feeling all emotional and scared and everything. I mean, this was less than a year ago. And I feel like a totally different person. My mindset, my bank account, and my
we like that one too.
yes. Mindset, bank account, time with my family. Right? I have a 14-year-old daughter and a 10-year-old son, and they're at that age, they need mommy, right? Just to kind of chill. They don't need me to tie their shoes or they want me to sit and be present. So anyhow, I'm saying all that to say, without CAU, I would have still been making spreadsheets, scrambling, trying to figure it out, and then exhausted and unable to give what I meant to give.
Gosh, that's so true. Because I have a 16-year-old and she, so if you think about it, the beginning of the pandemic, she had just turned 14.
Yeah.
And so she was just really confused her freshman year in high school. So it has been a crazy 2 years, right? Mm-hmm. With her. And more than anything, she needs me just to sit.
Yep. Just to be there.
She just needs to know where I am in the house, Yep. She gets to come with when we do CAU events. That's just her life now. And she just understands that this is the life that she wants.
Yeah.
So, but totally different. And I think for me, and when I first learned of these things, that was the freedom that it created.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I didn't miss a dance class, let alone a recital.
Yeah.
I was at every volleyball practice, got to coach her for one season. I went on every of the field trips for her school. And it was that where I said, oh my goodness. And still keep the same revenue, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. That freedom, that time to be with my family. Like, so for example, my daughter and I, we're going to Peru on a school trip for spring break. I wouldn't have been able to do that before, not financially or time-wise. I'm like, I can't miss a week of patients. That will break me. That's no longer my story. We get to go to Peru. It's crazy.
It's so fun. It's so fun. That's what it's supposed to be though, right? Yeah. Isn't that like giving them a totally different reality so that she doesn't get caught up in this? I have to do everything. I have to be perfect. Yeah. I have to, instead of understanding that it's taking the time off. So now I have to remind her that she has to go to school, because she feels like 3 days is enough, right? Right. 3 days this week. I'm all right. I'm like, okay, no, you need to go 5 days. You need to go 5 days. So and then when she was when she was 10, I used to tell everybody this story that she came home just upset about Sebastian at school, right? And I'm like, well, why? And she goes, Sebastian does not have a passport, Mommy. Like, what is going on? He's 10 and he doesn't have a passport.
Oh, that's so cute.
I go,
right.
So don't say anything in front of the other little kids. And she's, why? I can't imagine. Like, hasn't he been out of the country? Doesn't he know like how important it is to learn other cultures and to see how other people live? So you can, because she went to a private Christian school, right? So we should be grateful for all that God has given us.
Yes. I love it. And I get to teach my kids that abundance is their birthright, but I also get to show that, right?
Yes.
I show that. And I was looking at my money mindset write-ins from the first time that I did them. And I was like, oh my gosh, like what in the world? And I did them again. And I'm like, wow, that's a huge change.
Yes. It is a progressive movement in less than the year of how you think, right? And so while the day that we're filming this, there's a war going on, and gas prices have gone up by $1.50, right? And literally, I had somebody this morning say, my trainer told me, well, she's getting married. And I was like, so have you gone to the new house? Have you been? She's like, oh, I only go on the weekends because gas is. What?
Yeah.
What? So you've changed your whole life now. Getting ready for you've got your first house, you've got all of these things, and she's doing very, very well. Okay, for her age. For 28, she's doing phenomenally well. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Right? But I think it just gets caught up with things around you, with what people are saying. And when you flip to that scarcity mode, you will say things that make no sense.
Yep. Absolutely.
I realized that, okay, you got 20 gallons, that's $35. Okay. Okay. So in a month, right? So 70, $150. Okay. So how about you don't drink Starbucks this month?
Right.
When you go twice a day.
Yep. A different mindset. Yeah.
I don't know how it works. Well, I love that you love the mindset shift, because you'd be shocked how many people come and skip that part. They skip that part of the training. And we can always tell if they've skipped it.
Yeah.
Because of the questions that they ask. How much do I have to spend? How is this? And it's like, what are you talking about? You have a business, $1 million business. How about you invest in your $1 million business?
Yeah.
So it's always just quite interesting. Where do they find Dr. RJ?
Well, I am at askdrrj.com, but the best place is askdrrj.work, WORK. So we can have a one-on-one conversation. Even if it's not a good fit for you, it's okay, right? We've still had a good chat. You still had some free time with the psychologist.
There you go.
Win-win. AskDrRJ.work is the best place, but I am all over social media. So Instagram, Facebook, same thing at Ask Dr. RJ, AskDrRJ.
That's awesome. So before we go, I always like to ask everybody to do you have a special message for either Marquel or the client success team or Andre or anybody on our team that you just like to say? They don't know that I do this part, and it's just, you and them. So camera's on you. What would you like to say to them?
Well, the whole team is phenomenal. Like everybody it's almost like disciples, right? Everybody has a special role, a certain personality. They make you feel a certain way. And I think for me, the piece with Dre that I get to have with Coach Dre bi-weekly. So as a psychologist, right, I thought my mindset was already together, but just hearing how he sees the world, how he really can get you to see yourself in a bright light, like that fills my soul up. I feel like if I miss that call, it's like I miss Bible study for the week. That's what it feels like. And I just want to say to the entire team, it is priceless to be a part of this family. It is. No price tag can be on being a part of this family.
Oh, we love that. We love hearing that. We absolutely do. And we are so stinking proud of you. Anything that we can do to support you, you just reach out. I can't wait to see you here in a couple of days.
Yes, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yay. As we all travel to Atlanta, where we go twice a year to just hang out with our rockstar clients. Hey, if you are thinking about really building your expertise into a business that creates a lifestyle like Dr. RJ there, where you can go for a week to Peru with your daughter on spring break, or just be with them as they've come off the hardest 2 years, probably of their lifetime, then you can join our 3-day. You can do that at clientattractionmadeeasy.com. Or if you just want to kind of figure out if we know what we're talking about, go to the paidadplaybook.com. And we'd love to have a conversation with you too, to see if we can really transform your expert business into $1 million business.
Thank you so much for checking out this episode. Have a phenomenal day, because you absolutely deserve it. Talk to you soon.
What's the difference between you and mega successful coaches and consultants with a dream business? Simple. They're getting more leads than you are. What if there was a way to get 50 to 100 leads every single day like clockwork? Would you want it? Then go to www.getdailyclients.com to access our paid ad playbook that has brought in millions of leads for our clients over the years on complete autopilot.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.